gathered together in Boston from almost every civilized country of the world. We come from the British Isles, China, Japan, European and South American countries, Australia, New Zealand and many others.
After the Second World War, the Rotary movement worldwide absolutely blossomed. My club was the only club up till the Second World War in Christchurch, but there are now 17 clubs in the city area. Our club grew to about 80 members in the 30s and did a lot of good work. YMCA, YWCA, CCS, formerly the Crippled Children's Society, that was a Rotary project to start that, and that's of course gone from strength to strength. The playground project was in fact started during the war, which started as a Rotary project in the Botanical Gardens, and when our club had its 50th Jubilee, that was extended greatly. That's become a major attraction in the gardens, and that's something which our club takes a lot of satisfaction from. It's interesting, anybody visiting the gardens will see a number of trees with plaques near them, and they represent trees that have been planted by visiting presidents of Rotary International. One of them was in fact planted by Paul Harris, founder of Rotary. I think he visited here in 1935, and a tree was planted by him, and it still flourishes.
Professor James Shelley was the most influential president that Rotary had. His work influences the directions that Rotary takes and actions they take today. He was a really energetic person who believed that Rotary should put most of its emphasis on youth and on education. He went on to develop the Crichton Cobbers Club, but probably one of the big things he did in education, they came up with an idea of an open-air classroom, exposed to the weather on all four sides and with one wall completely without a permanent wall. The Department of Education didn't support this group, so he went ahead and formed a league, the Open Air School League. The Rotary clubs gave it strong support and donated $200 to the first open air classroom. And this was built on Fendleton School site. In fact, that very classroom is now on the College of Education site in Dovedale Avenue.
Rotary has, it is a service club, so one of its ideals and its aims and objects is to provide service to others, and I think it fulfills that. But there's also time to have a lot of fun, and we meet weekly. We come from all different walks of life, but we share fellowship. And during our meetings we do make sure we have some fun as well. One of the fun things we do is to have a sergeant session where Rotarians are fined $1 or $2 at a time, which goes to the Rotary Foundation for misdemeanours that they may have committed either at the club or during the day or during the previous week, or if they got their name in the paper for something. My first recollection of that was when before I joined the club, my father was a member, he was fined because my photograph with a few of my friends when I was a student happened to appear in the paper playing a round of golf on Sundays, because he was fined, he said very heavily, because he was told that I should have been at church. I think one of the important things to mention about Rotary and what Rotary does is to emphasise the voluntary nature of all that Rotarians do. No Rotarian is paid for the services that they provide, other than obviously secretarial and administrative things that can be paid for, but Rotarians' time is given voluntary, and as often as not they make use of and provide assistance from their particular business or profession or whatever it is for nothing. I think particularly in the last 15 years since we've had ladies in the club, I think they've certainly added a dimension, and we've enjoyed for their fellowship and friendship in the club, and they've made a major contribution.
My name is Lynn Holmes, and I belong to the Christchurch Club. And I was the first woman of the Rotary Club of Christchurch, which was a little bit daunting at the time. And I was asked in January 1990 if I would be interested in becoming a member of the Christchurch Rotary Club. And at that time I didn't have any idea of what Rotary was about. I knew it was a very well thought of men's service club, and that was it. But the more I thought about it, the more I really warmed to the idea, because I had always wanted to give a little back to the community and get involved in the community, but didn't really quite know how. So I saw that as a really great opportunity, and as well as that, I just started my own business with a business partner, so I thought it would be a pretty good networking opportunity to meet all of these people who were involved in a business capacity. It took till October to be introduced into the club, and I was introduced with 2 other women who subsequently left after a fairly short period of time. So that was my first introduction to Rotary, and as I said, I really didn't have a great driving interest to become a Rotarian until I was asked, and then I really had time to reflect, and I thought that was a pretty good idea. Unlike today, today we invite potential Rotarians along to our meetings. It might be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 meetings that they come along to, and so it's really then a two-way thing. They might not enjoy coming to the Rotary, and in the meantime, I guess we've done a little bit of research on the people that are going to be invited into the club. But in my instance, when I was introduced into the club, it was the first time I'd set foot in the Christchurch Rotary Club, and there I faced a group, and there must have been 100 or so men, and I thought, whoa, this is going to be interesting. But it was interesting, and it was great, and they just embraced having women members, and it's been a fabulous journey with the club.